Number 4. Linda, I cannot see, so you need to tell us when to come.
Well, welcome everyone. Let's have a round of applause for this remarkable music we've been making. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Tom Koch, Dean of the College of Optical Sciences, and it's really a fantastic pleasure to welcome you all here this afternoon. Tomorrow evening, President Hart will officially confer degrees on our graduates that have satisfied all the requirements for the degree. But this evening, this late afternoon, is our special, much more intimate event. And it's really a wonderful opportunity, and I'm personally delighted to be able to individually recognize all our students, all our achievers, all 71 of them. So 71 candidates in the College of Optical Sciences. That includes 23 bachelor's degrees, 22 master's degrees, and 26 PhD students. So this moment here tonight is the culmination of years of dedication and hard work for all these outstanding achievers. And as I've said in previous gatherings, and if you want to see what I mean, you've got to go to our website and look at our video. But these students tonight are transitioning from being mere apprentices in the field of optics into official Jedi Knights of optics and photonics. So let's give our students a round of applause. And before I go any further, I want to recognize that the achievements of these remarkable students have only been possible with the support of family and friends. And sometimes this is financial support, sometimes it's spiritual support, and oftentimes it's both. But many of the friends, the families, and supporters of these students are here in attendance. And I'd like to ask all our students in the back to stand up, and all of you bend around and get a crook in your neck, and let the students give all of you a round of applause. Please stand. So this year's event is special for quite a number of reasons. This morning, my wife Peggy pointed out to me that today's date is even interesting. It's 5-1-5-1-5. So this is the highest symmetry day of what they call palindrome week. Very important and cosmologically significant event, and it's the only palindrome week graduation we'll have all century. So very important thing to observe. So joking aside, this year is special, and that the United Nations declared 2015 to be the International Year of Light. And many of us in the faculty and students of the college have participated in events around the globe to recognize and celebrate the impact that light and optics have on our lives and on the world. And this year, many of us have also joined efforts in the US to raise awareness, both public awareness, but especially legislative awareness of how important optics and photonics is, with the goal to promote education and focus more investment into this field that's so important to all of us. And I'm pleased to say that during this academic year and in the summer that's going to follow for this International Year of Light, we will have graduated a new record for the college, 38 PhD students in that 12-month period. We haven't done that before. So again, a remarkable achievement of our faculty and of our hardworking students. So all of our students, regardless of their degree level, are entering into a very dynamic field. Optics is pretty exciting, and it has lots of promise and impact on society. You've all heard on the news all the ambitions of these large companies to introduce exciting new products using optics. If you follow the news, you hear people talking about Magic Leap and Google Glass, Oculus Rift with Facebook, and now just last week or so, Microsoft coming out with the HoloLens. So these are just a couple of examples of new technologies that are aiming to change your lives in all kinds of exciting ways. But optics is actually a much more diverse field than that. And our students and faculty work on really remarkable kind of game-changing things here at the college. And I'll give a couple of examples. We have students working on medical instruments that use very, very small, tiny optics that fit into endoscopes that are so small that they can fit inside fallopian tubes or into ovaries. And the goal is not just to look at the tissues and look for tumors, but to be able to do chemical analysis while these probes are in there, or even use a technique called optical coherence tomography, where you can look beneath the surface of the tissue, kind of like sonar, into the tissue to study what's going on underneath. So these are really remarkable, and the goal is to be able to do non-invasive diagnosis without having to do biopsies and surgery. So that's one example. We have advances in very fundamental basic physics. And one of my favorite is some work where some of our faculty work with matter. We all learn in college that matter is like waves too, but you don't usually see that. So these folks cool down matter, clouds of atoms, to 50 billionths of a degree above absolute zero. And when they do that, these atoms glob together into a giant matter wave. And when I say matter wave, what I mean is you can actually take two of these things, macroscopically watch this happen, and you can take globs of matter and push them towards each other and see the matter canceling out other matter. This is kind of like Star Trek, weird stuff. And it's a day in their lives. So you really have to see this stuff to believe it. We have folks that work together with our astronomers to make telescope mirrors that have little actuators on it, where the surface of the mirror may have hundreds or even thousands of little micro actuators. So it's a dynamic surface wiggling in just the exact way to cancel out the atmospheric distortion of a turbulent atmosphere. And so this enables giant telescopes that are bigger than anything you could ever launch into space, and they outperform the Hubble, even though they're on the ground looking through this. So how powerful are they? You can look at a star in our galaxy and actually see the planets. You don't have to infer the planets are orbiting it. You can see them and count them with these telescopes. It's just amazing stuff. And our faculty work with new kinds of optics called freeform optics, where the surface is no longer confined to be cylindrically symmetrical optical systems like you see in a telescope or a microscope. They can be any shape, and it opens up the field for all kinds of clever designs that are impacting things like the headwear that I mentioned earlier, where you can use it for virtual or augmented reality. You can make new kinds of micro cameras that would fly on UAVs. So it's really a game-changing advance in the field. And we also contribute to the internet. So our faculty work on microscopic semiconductor chips. You're used to thinking of integrated circuits that have a billion transistors on it. Well, now we have integrated chips that have zillions of lasers on them. And instead of wires and electricity, it's laser light bouncing around inside the chips. And this isn't a thing of the imagination. These are already in today's internet, enabling you to communicate with each other and do all the things you do on the internet. So it's a remarkable body of technology. And most of our legislators and a lot of our public just don't understand all these aspects of light and optics and what we call photonics. So our goal is to get them educated, convey to them how much economic impact this field has, and try to get more focus and funding. And I'm happy that I've worked with colleagues around the country to launch new programs, and we're now kind of waiting with bated breath because we did get the Obama administration to fund a national program in chip-scale photonics at the tune of over $100 million. And so we've teamed together with a lot of other universities and the nation's largest companies in this field, like Intel and IBM and Cisco and so forth, to try to get our proposal funded. And so we're waiting. If we do, we'll have a team that gets over $600 million of funding in this area, and that could be a real game changer for us. Before I go any further, and I've spoken long enough now, I want to point out that our undergraduate degree is a Bachelor of Science in Optical Sciences and Engineering. And this academic program is conducted jointly between the College of Optical Sciences and the College of Engineering. And I'm very happy to introduce my colleague, my friend, and the Dean of the University of Arizona's College of Engineering, Jeff Goldberg. Let's have a round.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be in front of such an incredibly strong group, both in students and both in faculty. This is the fifth of these presentations I've done today. I only have one more to go. I feel pretty good after this one, only one more. And then there's a party that I have to go to as well. It's a weird day. And one of my earlier presentations made it a big deal to claim they were the hardest engineering program for students to finish. Now, I'm not really sure why that's a goal, but regardless, that's the goal. They were the hardest. But sure enough, when I walked in here today, one of these faculty told me, no, 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 we're the hardest, right? And so it's a difficult program to finish. It's really interesting it seems like every year when I look down the list of the students who are going to graduate, I find that I know the parents of some of the students here. So go Honeywell, and congratulations to the Bloomers. And it's really interesting. One of the students here, I actually knew his great-grandfather. So the Hellmans, congratulations, and way to go. Oh, there they are back there. And my father was a very good friend of their grandfather, or the student's great-grandfather, so it's really great. This is a fantastic faculty group. I mean, no joke when Tom talks like this. This is, a lot of people say we're world-class, we're the best in the world. This is arguably world-class and the best in the world. These other people, when they talk about it, they're blowing smoke at you. Here, there's no smoke. This is really it. I mean, it's $20 million, $25 million a year from 30 people and a very large team effort. And the beauty of being able to do that really fantastic cutting-edge research is that then goes into both the graduate program and the undergraduate program. And so the students here get an experience in optics and the ability to do science and engineering that no one else on this campus really gets. So when the university talks about crown jewel programs, this is one of the crown jewels, and this is why it's so great for me to be able to partner, and it's great to be able to play with people like Tom and Harry Barrett, who's in the National Academy of Engineering, and I can go down the line back and forth that great science, great engineering, and there's a fantastic set of instructors sitting in front of you as well. So congratulations to the faculty, and congratulations to the staff. You don't finish a program like this just with students. The students work hard, but there's still an awful lot that we push from the side here. Let me say a few words that are a little different tonight. And I'm going to apologize to one person who was at the mechanical engineering presentation. I don't actually do 6 different presentations. I'm nowhere near that good. Tom could do that, but I don't do that. But we're really interested not just in the great technical work, but there's really the whole person. And one of the things that the college has been doing over the past year is we've been working with a book, and it's called A Whole New Engineer, and it's written by a guy, ironically enough, named David Goldberg. No relation. By the way, I'm not related to Rube Goldberg either, or any of these other, or Goldberg and Osborne, or any of these. Don't. It's just we have our own page in the New York phone directory. That's about all we got. But he wrote a book that talks about how engineering education in the future might look, and what I'm going to explain to you, I hope, is that how we have already done a lot of those things here. And the university is really looking at workforce ready, and workforce in this field could be working for companies, it could be working for research institutes, it could be working for other universities. So when you think about workforce here, you have to really take a very broad look. And it's not just about mathematics and physics and engineering science kinds of ideas. It's a much broader person. And so David really talks about 5 skills that are critical for success. Skill number 1 is trust. You have to be able to trust that you can explore solutions, know when you're struggling, go out and get help, and trust that help. That no one is going to try to trick you, no one is going to try to do something to sabotage you. It's really a key effort wherever you wind up going, whatever company, whatever enterprise you're in. You got to be able to trust the people around you because you will get stuck. You will need help. And I hope all of you have seen that in the hardest program in engineering. Right? I'm sure you've all seen those kind of things. The second attribute that he talks about that we don't really think about as much is courage. You have to have courage to try new things, to try hard things, to try messy problems, to work hard. And it's okay to fail. One of the issues in the innovation economy and what we talk about now in the United States of how do we get more innovators and how do we get more ability to create real wealth here, and it's not just passing paper around, is that we have to be able to innovate. And it's okay to fail. And I hope our students had a chance to see that. How many of the parents and friends had a chance to come to Design Day? We had a few. And I know Eric was a judge at Design Day. If you get a chance next year even, this is really something that's absolutely fantastic. It's in this room. There are 80 projects simultaneously that our students are displaying. And you get a chance to see the wonderful, really wonderful work that we get a chance to do. And during that one-year program or 9-month program, you hit some roadblocks and you have to be able to double back and figure out what's going on. So it's okay to try things. It's okay to try really hard things. You can't do the optics work that Tom is talking about with trillions of lasers on a chip unless you're willing to try, and maybe the first time it didn't exactly work like we thought. Number 3 is something openness. It's the ability to ask questions, the ability to answer questions openly and honestly, and the ability to wait and judge until you've heard the real data. Now, it's a running joke in my family. I'm the only engineer. Everybody else is an attorney. And I always, I've been called for jury duty many times, and I've never gotten picked. And I always wonder what they have against me. And I feel badly. I mean, my goodness, why, I'm not good enough to be on a jury? Come on. And then I was told very clearly the reason that we don't have engineers on juries is because they don't listen to the argument. They don't listen to the evidence. They figure out exactly what happened, and then they vote. And there's no deliberation in that process either. Here's what happened. Why do we need to vote? Why do we need to talk about that? So that's the reputation that we had, and we have, and at some point we really want to be able to get around those kind of things, to look and to think and to question and to be able to communicate. The next area that Goldberg talks about is something called connectedness. None of you will do it alone. You're all going to be in organizations, whether they're academic, whether they're industry. You'll be in communities, churches, synagogues, school districts. You will be in organizations. The strongest are the ones that have the best network. It is far easier to be successful when people like you. I know it sounds silly, but it's hard to be successful when people are actively rooting against you. So I urge you, work with your networks, grow those networks, get connected as best you possibly can. Think about mentors, think about connecting back to this faculty once you graduate, really critical. And then finally, the last one is the one that I never really thought about until I read the book. And I think about how and why I come to work here all the time. I mean, I have a pretty cool job. I mean, and I have had a pretty cool job for 30 years here. Right? Harry's been here 41 years. I've only been here 30 years. I'm a mere child. But that attribute is joy. The joy of being an engineer and knowing every single day you're doing things that help people. When we recruit engineering students, we used to recruit, you're really good in math and science, go into engineering. It's a really hard program, go into engineering. That doesn't work too well for 18-year-olds anymore. That's not the driver. It's a really hard program, go into engineering. What works and what's really true is if you want to learn how to help people and you want to do systems and devices that really help people's lives get better, come into engineering. We're going to show you how to do that in a real way. And that joy of being an engineer is really what's contagious about this program and really what I believe is the hallmark of this group, that when our students finish, they're happy to finish because they've had a great achievement, but they're happy they can now go out and really start to do things that will help people. So I'm going to close with a quote from one of our sophomores. So in systems engineering, they teach a seminar class, and they require the students to go to Design Day. And then they ask the students, what did you see? How did you feel? which is a pretty weird engineering question, right? How did you feel? But we did. And so you sometimes get back odd answers, but this one wasn't. So this is a direct quote. I don't usually read, but I'm going to do it here. I really enjoyed this experience. I saw how proud all the engineers were and how happy they were. They were happy because they were on top of a mountain that they've been climbing for 4 years. I cannot wait for this moment. So on behalf of the faculty and on behalf of the College of Engineering, I want to thank the students for helping this one particular student, and I'll bet everyone in this room think about the joy of engineering, and I hope you carry that joy forward through your entire career. I know it will stand you well. Thank you very much. Okay. I got one more thing. I think, who do I have? I have Rebecca or Ted? Ted, I'm sorry. Oh, there you go. Come on up, Ted. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. We have the College of Engineering recruits students. In fact, we recruit harder than football. And we recruit better than football, too. And so, and I firmly believe if we didn't go out and recruit, there would be nobody here. And so Ted is one of our team leads in recruiting, and without his work, you don't get great students. And we have a team of engineering ambassadors, and those ambassadors, there's about 60 of them, and they're spread across different majors, and they basically do presentations, and it's all volunteer. We give them a polo shirt, we give them a button-down shirt, and we give them licorice, and that's it. And it's a deal, because that licorice is really good. And so this year, we've got 2 students graduating in optical sciences and engineering, and we'd like them to come up, and we'd like to thank them publicly, and we would like to give them a small token. So the first student is Charday Alley. Please come on up. Woohoo. So one of the things you'll see, Charday is wearing a blue cord, and that signifies that she graduated with honors at this university and has satisfied the Honors College requirements. She's going to the ESTEAM program, which is a course in entrepreneurship at Notre Dame University. In fact, she's the second student in 2 years who we had one went last year as well. And then our second student is Jacob Siegel. Come on up, Jacob. So Jacob's been an ambassador for 3 years. No plans right now, but that just means he's keeping his options open, right? Yes. Okay. Way to go. So thanks to the students, and thanks to the College of Optical Sciences for being such a great partner with the College of Engineering. It's one of our absolute flagship programs. Thank you very much.
Where's our photographer? Let's get a picture.
Ted, come on. We can get a premiere, and we appreciate that. No, but
very good. Well, thank you, Jeff. Those were some great words. And I think I spent a long time in the introduction talking about the science and technology of optics, but Jeff is right. It's all about people. You don't do anything without relationships, without the best students, without the best faculty, and working effectively together. And so with that, I would like to introduce the faculty that are here tonight, and I'll ask them to identify themselves. Down at the end, Jose Sacian, Lars Fernlid, Eric Clarkson, John Grievenkamp, Stay Sterniak, Matt Dubin, and Harry Barrett. And in the back row, Mike Knopfsinger, and Russell Chipman, Stanley Powell, and Bob Norwood, and John Koschel. So the students who are sitting behind you have worked very, very hard, as Jeff said, in this program to make the achievements that we're recognizing here tonight. And as they embark on what really amounts to a new phase of their career or educational goals, our bachelor's candidates are poised to be leaders in innovation of new products, new technologies, and frankly, things that I know we can't even imagine today will be done during their work career. And some of them will use optics to improve lives and around the whole globe. They'll also be poised to go on to higher education if they want to get a more advanced degree. Our master's students are yet more deeply prepared, and they're positioned right now to go into leadership positions in engineering programs within industry or in research institutes, or also to continue on their studies to a PhD. And our doctoral PhD candidates have really reached what's the pinnacle of our field in education. And by completing their PhD research program and dissertation, what they've really done is demonstrate that they can contribute and create new knowledge at the very forefront of fundamental science, or new knowledge in how to apply science and technology in engineering fields to create breakthroughs that will enhance all of our lives. So it's my pleasure now to introduce to you John Koschel, who I already mentioned, who is our Associate Dean for Academic Programs. And John will first introduce our academic program staff, who's here in attendance, and then we'll individually recognize and introduce the graduates one at a time. So, John. I forgot to mention that I did bring this weapon, and it was important to bring this to fend off the rain. It was going to rain at 5 o'clock tonight, and then it was going to rain at 6 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock, and only because I've carried this has it been postponed till about 9 o'clock tonight. So you'll get out with a chance to get a bite to eat and not have to worry about the rain.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Tom. Let me first recognize the academic program staff. First, we have Cindy Robertson right down here. She's driving the display, so you'll be able to see your individual graduates. Then we have Ruth Corcoran. She runs the office to make sure it stays sane. We have Melissa Ayea over there. She's our undergraduate student advisor. We have Mark Rodriguez, who just joined us as the graduate student advisor. And Amanda Ferraris in the back. She makes sure that our graduate students are funded through their RA or TA position, and she makes sure that our rooms are available for classes. And then last but not least, we have Jen Garcia over here. She made sure that this event would run smoothly. So let's give them a round of applause. So we are now ready to confer the degrees upon our bachelor students, and they'll come up one at a time. And if you want to take photographs and if you want to give a little cheer out, please do that, okay? First is Tyler Hashimoto. He will be working for Cymer upon graduation. We have Christopher Downs. He will be working for Research Electro-Optics.
Very good, very good.
Grant West. He will be working for Stewart Observatory. we have Sergio Moronis. He will be working at Raytheon. Ali Khan. He will be working for Apple Incorporated. Connor Magnus, he will be working for LaserTel. Jesse Odell, he will be starting work with Cymer. Linda Shardy Ali, College of Engineering Ambassador and beginning a master's degree program at Notre Dame. Gunnar Scott, he will be completing a math degree at the U of A and will begin graduate school at the University of Nevada, Reno. Jacob Landseidel, he will be working for the U.S. Army Night Vision Electro Sensors Directorate. Viviana Yano, she will be pursuing work in industry. Lisa Lee, beginning a master's degree in Newcastle University in the UK, and afterwards will start the PhD in optical sciences at the UA. Nicholas Smith, pursuing work in industry. Nathaniel Resner, pursuing work in industry. Courtney Soleveld will be working for Edmund Optics. Adam Bloomer, he will be working for GoPro. Braden Smith will begin Masters in Optical Sciences at UA and will be working for Sandia National Labs. Sean Ashley, finishing the Accelerated Master's Program Statistics at the U of A, interning with Control Vision Incorporated. Joseph Tang, he will begin his PhD in Optical Sciences at the University of Rochester. Brandon Hellman, he was recognized as our outstanding senior, and he will begin PhD studies in optical sciences at the University of Arizona. Jacob Siegel, he's a College of Engineering ambassador, and he will be pursuing work in industry. Benjamin Cromie, he's the valedictorian for this year's class of undergraduates, and he is College of Optical Sciences ambassador, and he will begin his PhD at the U of A in optical sciences this fall. I'd like to call all the undergraduates to the front so we can get a group photo. Please come forward if you want to take photographs. Let's hear a final round of applause for our undergraduates. Next, we will confer degrees on our master's students. Let's let everyone get seated first. Samuel Driscoll. He will be working for GoPro as an optical mechanical engineer, and he is a College of Optical Sciences ambassador. Gregory Benjamin Jacob, work at LaserTel, a semiconductor manufacturer in Tucson, Arizona. Liu Renyuan Chung, continuing to work on a PhD in the ECE department. Donglin Ma, he plans to work in the optics industry. Congratulations. Basel Solahe, advance into computational imaging research and make an impact in the world of optics.
And this is why I have a podium. We've learned over the years.
I'd like all the master's students to come to the front for a group picture. Congratulations. Now we will confer the degrees upon our PhD students who have just finished their studies. Jason Michelli, going to El Guero Canola. I don't know, I can't. Vaibhav Bora, independent optical and imaging consultant, AKA looking for a job. Victoria Chan, working at Apple Incorporated in Cupertino, California as a displays exploration engineer. Nicholas Daniel Trail, he and his wife will be moving to the Pacific Northwest, where he will be working on depth sensing and vision research, as well as spending some time exploring the mountains, forests, and ocean. Helen Fan, working at Raytheon Missile Systems. Brittany Elizabeth Lynn will work at Spa War for the Navy in San Diego. She is a College of Optical Sciences ambassador. Andre S. Alnan, he's going to be a lecturer at the University of New South Wales, Canberra, Australia, and he's our graduate student valedictorian. Stacy Suoka, seeking employment as an optical engineer either in industry on the West Coast or the astronomical telescopes in Hawaii. She's a College of Optical Sciences ambassador. And Neil Guemo, he will be working for Apple in California. Congratulations. Essen Salson, working as an optical systems engineer at KLA Tencor. YC Tiffany Lamb, she's going to be finished publishing a textbook with her advisor, or should we say ex-advisor. Shiva Shahin. She graduated in August 2014 and is currently a postdoc fellow at UCSD University. Can I please have all the PhD students up front for a group photo? Please come take photos if you want to. Let's have a last round for all of our PhD students. The degrees are now conferred. I encourage the bachelor's students to flip over your tassel if you have not done so already. And let's have one last congratulation for all of our degrees. Now we're going to have some remarks from our valedictorians. First, I call to the stage Benjamin Cromie. He is our undergraduate valedictorian. And Benjamin, after this, he will be pursuing his PhD. He's not done with us. He's going to continue on at the College of Optical Sciences to get his doctorate. So, Benjamin.
That's surrounding.
All right, gotta bend over a little bit for this. So thank you, Dean Koschel, Academics Committee, and faculty for selecting me for this honor. I'm grateful for the honor. I'm grateful to God for the talents He's given me that have helped me do so well in this program. However, I am certainly only one of very many outstanding students in my graduating class. I've really enjoyed having a small class size in this program because that's allowed me to get to know so many of you so well. So, classmates, I invite you to look back at our 3 years together. Our experience was not unlike that of a group of photons passing through a Keplerian beam expander. We began our time in sophomore year in the laser cavity. The courses were the gain medium, and the professors were the power source. Once our knowledge reached a population inversion, we were sent out into junior year. We went through the focused objective about learning about physical optics and lens design. We passed through the tight pinhole of spring of junior year and fall of senior year. And as our knowledge expanded like a beam radius, we are now here at graduation being collimated and sent out to do great things. Unfortunately, like a dielectric barrier with too much voltage applied, this is where my analogy breaks down. Because we unfortunately are not a collimated bundle of rays. We have to diverge and go our separate ways. Some of us are making impacts on ultraviolet photolithography. Others are making amazing rifle scopes. Some of us are choosing to continue our education as we go forward in our further degrees. I hope you understand how much I have enjoyed our times together in chatting in the undergrad lounge, eating at 1702, having lunch in the Union. I've really enjoyed the opportunity to get to know you, and I wish you all great success in all of your various endeavors. Before I close, I'd like to thank a few people. I would like to thank Dr. Norwood and Dr. Blanche for the many recommendation letters they had written me, as well as all the advice and experience I gained working with them. I would also like to thank Dr. Mike, who is part of the reason why I am even in this program in the first place. It's almost exactly 6 years since I went through to a high school camp as in the optics program, and I was first introduced to this program, and without hearing about this program, I don't know where my career would be today. So thank you all for coming and being part of this ceremony. Again, classmates, I wish you all the very best.
I now call to the stage our graduate student valedictorian, Andre Alnan. Andre.
A photon walks into a hotel and checks into a room. The concierge asks if he has any luggage. The photon replies, "No, I'm traveling light." They say to open with a joke. In reality, I've procrastinated preparing this speech until the last moment, so I was just looking to fill it up. In fact, I've procrastinated with all things grad school related, and that I'm graduating today and is nominated valedictorian is surprising enough. First and foremost, I have to thank everyone that had any part in me standing at this podium today. My family, my colleagues, my advisor, and my friends. A list of people that is too long to be enumerated, because any attempt would insult more through exclusion than it would honor those listed. I will cherish all the lifelong friendships that I've made while in this program, and it is with both with great sadness and with great joy towards the new challenges in my life ahead that I'll leave this program. I'm forever grateful to optics for opening my eyes. And unfortunately, Jim Sugarling is not here, but he deserves credit for opening many more eyes. I'm sure that I speak for many of us when I say that optics has taught us how to think. Being the study of the smallest scales of the universe, optics embedded in us the very principles of having to decompose the problem into the smallest pieces possible and figuring out how each one of the solution stacks to build a greater whole. Each member of the faculty is responsible for culturing these principles, and for that, they deserve our best hands. What we have now is a versatile toolkit to solve problems and to invent new problems that need solving. This versatility invariably means that all of us will find ourselves in different parts of the globe. Besides being great for the future couch surfing trips, many of us will enjoy the greener pastures of pretty much anywhere else but here. As for me, I'm leaving for Australia, a land that is more recently known for having one of the fastest growing obesity rates in the world. I just hope that my Fourier transform never truly becomes a delta function. Thank you, and congratulations to the graduating class of 2015.
Thank you very much. So we're almost wrapped up, almost ready for refreshments. And I noticed on the program it said they were light refreshments. So maybe it's kind of like the photon. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be something different. No. I've been now dean of the college for just 3 years, and presiding over this event each year is it's one of the most fun things you get to do. Just to share this moment with the students and with their families and their friends. What an amazing group of achievers they are, and what an amazing group of supporters you are for getting them all to this point. So I want to give you a round of applause. So our students, they're really positioned now to have very rewarding careers, and they'll include lots of challenges and difficult problems to work on and areas to have impact. But I've always felt, and I told my own kids the same thing. So now my daughter's got her master's, my son has a PhD, almost in exactly the same subfield of a subfield of a subfield that I'm in. And what I told them when they were getting their education is that it was a lot of hard work, but the light at the end of the tunnel and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow was that you had an opportunity to have a job that was just a lot of fun. Frankly, just plain fun. And it's the kind of job where people who are really dedicated and worked hard in this field wake up in the morning and they get in the shower and they can't help but think about challenges and puzzles, and you're going to get paid to do that. It's really quite a privilege, and not everybody has that privilege, but you've actually earned it through all your hard work. And I'm going to date myself by making an analogy here that all that hard work, if you go back to the 1970s in Disneyland, your degree now is like an e-ticket, and you get to go on the best rides in the park now. So you're ready to have fun. But with this opportunity comes responsibility, and by that I mean that you did work very hard to get here, but you had a lot of help, and you had a lot of help from the people around you, the people in this room, a lot of support, but also just from our institutions in this country, all the educational institutions, all the way from kindergarten through high school and here at the University of Arizona. So all these things have been there to benefit you as you launch onto your careers, and you have an obligation to use your skills to do good things, to impact the world, to bring better lives to people around you through cleverness and new solutions to some of our most difficult problems. But I want you to remember that you can have fun when you do that. So again, thank you. And finally now we're going to have a chance to say hello to each other more informally. The curtains will come up and we'll set up the refreshments. But all of you can now take out your pocket optics again and take some photos, look at them on your optical display, and you can send them over the optical fiber internet to your friends who couldn't be here and share the spirit of this moment. So I want to thank you all finally for coming. I want to thank the graduates for their achievements and frankly what they've brought to the college by being here. They all contribute a lot to us as well. And thank our faculty, and thank you again as supporting friends and family. So one more round of applause for all of us here. So let's enjoy each other.
Yeah, I just said we just pick up where we left off. With the number 4 from the wedding album.
Thank you.